2024 tournament season is going to look drastically different from me, and there's going to be a lot of things that change, and I think it's time to publicly talk about that. Right now I'm headed to the first event of the season. This is my first tournament. We start off as Sam Rayburn this year. It's about 1,200 miles to Sam Rayburn, and it usually takes me, it's taken me as long as 16 hours, somewhere between 14 and 16 hours. So I got plenty of time to explain to you guys what's going on and what's going to look different for this season. Every time I fish my first tournament, I kind of always make a note to reflect, think about what it felt like on your first season and kind of like where you come from. Just kind of like taking a tally, just showing some gratitude and thinking about what it used to be like versus what it's like now. And I can remember when I first started fishing, I worked as a guide to make money to go tournament fishing. Like I know people always talk about how much it costs to be a professional fisherman and how you got to have all this money, how you got to be a millionaire or billionaire or start out a millionaire, however else they say it. And dude, like I never had any of the money to do this. Like I didn't, that's not my story. I didn't have any of that stuff. So when I started doing YouTube in 2018 season, I really got serious about YouTube. And when I got serious about YouTube, I learned that like this is a thing. Like a lot of people don't know very fundamental things about bass fishing, and the sport was growing faster than I really realized before that. I didn't realize that so many people were being brought to the sport of fishing not through a dad, uncle, or some type of male figure. People were being brought to fishing by the internet or through high school fishing or friends. So there wasn't a lot of knowledge being passed down. And so I found this gap in between serious tournament fishermen and people that were just coming into the sport. And I wanted to try to bridge that gap in between people just starting fishing and serious tournament fishermen. I feel like a lot of people here on my YouTube channel, can I just set you down for a little bit? I feel like a lot of people on my YouTube channel, they really kind of just got into the sport probably within the last 5 years. Let me know if that's you. And so if you probably just got into the sport of bass fishing in the last 4 to 5 years, there's probably a lot of things that you're still a little bit uneasy about. You kind of understand it, but nobody's truly broken it down to you. Things like how do fish behave during a cold front? What do I do when the water's rising? What do I do when the water's muddy? How do I specifically target spotted bass? What do I do when the fish are feeding on these like little bitty minnows? And so I've tried to articulate that in a lot of my YouTube videos, but sometimes it's really hard to get across the point or answer a specific question here on YouTube. I do the best I can with the comment section, but I really feel like there's still a gap in between new fishermen that are coming to the sport and longtime fishermen, tournament fishermen. I think there's still a big gap there. And so that's really inspired me to do something that I think is going to help a lot of people become better fishermen and enjoy the sport of bass fishing a lot more than they have in the past. I always felt like there had to be a better way to do this. Had to be something where I could actually answer people's questions, provide more value. There had to be a better way that I could just help you understand how fish move and what baits to use and the things that you needed to do. Sorry, that's zoomed in so far. So what I did is I created a school. I created a fishing school to help teach people how to fish. I felt like that was going to be the best way that I could be more intimate in the way that I taught people and take the time that they needed to really grasp and learn the art of bass fishing. So I created Straight Up Fishing School. So this is how my online school works. At least twice a month, I have an online class. It's where you guys can interact with me. I'll break down a specific technique. I'll break down a bait. I'll show you rigging. We talk about bass behavior. We talk about how weather affects fish. We talk about everything bass fishing. I even done a class on how you can buy a boat, whether you need to buy a used or a brand new boat, big or small. is anything that has to do anything with bass fishing, we talk about it in these live classes. But in addition to that, you guys can ask your questions on the live class and answer them in real time. That way I can really spend time talking about and bring you the value that you really deserve and that you really need to become a better bass fisherman. Secondly, I do what I call workshops. On the workshops, we do the same thing, but we really go in depth. To be honest with you, on certain techniques, it's really hard for you to get everything that you need in a 10, 15 minute YouTube video. I go way in depth on the rod, the reel, the line, and why, because it's not enough to just tell you what to use. You got to understand why. If you don't understand why, it's hard for you to duplicate that with other techniques. That's the difference in coming to my online school, is that I'll tell you why I use something or how you should be thinking, but I also tell you why I'm using that. And that's very important for you guys, because I want to open your mind to the art of bass fishing. I think of fishing almost like music. There's a bunch of different ways to play music, but it's all played with the same notes, and it's the same way with bass fishing. So we get that, and you get the interaction, you get the one-on-one connection to where you don't just type into the comments and maybe or maybe not the commenter will hit you back. Most likely they won't, because they don't have time, because they spend all the time uploading, creating the content, creating thumbnails, all the things. At the end of the day, they probably really don't have time to answer your questions. The difference with straight up fishing is the whole purpose is to answer your questions. It is to spend the time that you need until you understand the subject, the bait, the technique, whatever we're talking about. That's the whole purpose in it. You can sign up if you want to be a part of it. If you've learned anything from this channel and you really want to go deeper into learning more about bass fishing, the rods, the reels, the lines, the baits, and everything else that's included with it, sufschool.com, or you can just scan the barcode or check the description link of this video and it'll take you to my website. I would love to have you guys there, because teaching fishing has been like the best thing for me. It's like winning a tournament. When I teach somebody how to fish and then they learn how to fish and I see the light bulb go off, for me that's just like winning a tournament. So I want you to learn, because when I see you learn, it fills my tank. So I hope you'll join it. I think it'll be really valuable to you, and I really feel like you'll probably catch more fish, and if nothing else, you'll enjoy fishing a lot more than you have in the past. And if you enjoy fishing a lot more than you have in the past, you'll probably feel a lot less guilty about all the money that you spend on all the tackle and stuff that you buy. All right, so I made it. We finally got here 15, 16 hours later. This is Brooklyn, Texas. I think it's Brooklyn. I don't know, maybe it's Brooklyn, Texas. Maybe it's Zapata. I don't know where exactly we are staying at, but I've been here a couple times before. I fished here 2019. I fished here in 2020 in the open, and then we fished here 2022 maybe. So I got a little bit of experience with Sam Rayburn, but here's the interesting fact about Sam Rayburn. Always kick my butt. I have never cast a check on this lake. Bro, that's got to change this week. I got them noodles.
They're still going. I've been eating them every now and then. They don't taste right.
What do you mean they don't taste right?
It's just like,
they're just pasta. They can't taste right.
well, like they're just like obviously not cooked. Like it's too hard.
Oh, they're too hard.
But not cooked all the way.
Hey, what's going on in the tournament today? Oh, Dustin's gonna win, huh? Dustin's gonna win, isn't he? And then Drew Gill. What's Spencer?
Spencer, yeah.
Yeah, he's not gonna catch him. This is the house we're staying in. We always rent houses when we travel. And I know, like, I am traveling in an RV, obviously, like I could sleep in there by myself, but I really would rather, I prefer to stay with my boys in houses. But it still comes in handy to drive the RV, because like I couldn't make this drive all in one. Let me set the camera down so I can talk to you. I couldn't make this drive to Texas in one day. So instead of getting a hotel, and having to get up, make sure nobody stole my stuff. I didn't have to do that. I could just stay in my van. Plus, you know, I use the van for other things too, but I really, really appreciate having the company of my boys, my other guys, Flint, Christian. Last year I had Bobby. I've stayed with Mark Daniels Jr. before. You know, I've got like my little crew of guys that we travel with. And the reason that I do that is because in a tournament, you practice 3 days. It's a lot of times it's 12 to 14. If you're up north, 16 hours a day of practice where you don't talk to anybody. You have no energy to bounce off of. So you can imagine when things are going bad, you're not catching any fish. All that stuff is amplified like ×5 when you come all the way back home, sleep in your camper by yourself, not talk to nobody, not have anybody to bounce off any positive energy or notes off of. It's just not really that healthy. So I appreciate having a couple guys to room with. We'll come back, we cut up, we laugh, we go to breakfast together, we go to dinner together, and you get to feed off of that energy when things aren't going good. Because I'm gonna tell you, in tournament fishing, a lot of times it's almost never easy. There's been almost 0 times that I go out in the lake, practice, start catching fish, and go back and catch them in a tournament. That's not how a tournament works. We're basically problem solvers. It is gonna be nice to finally concentrate on fishing this week. A lot of times, you know, I stay busy with just not just fishing, but straight up fishing school, making YouTube videos, and it's all got its own little vibe, and everything's got its own purpose for me, and I enjoy every last bit of it. I knew early on when I started tournament fishing that I needed to do something besides just tournament fishing, because I knew that just fishing 6, 7, 8, even 9, 10 tournaments a year wasn't going to be enough to satisfy like everything that I wanted to do in fishing. So I always knew I wanted to do something outside of the tournament industry. But at the same thing, even though I love doing all the other things, when I get to a tournament and I just get to focus on just fishing, like the competition side of the sport, it really feels good to really just sit down, think about what you're gonna do, how you're gonna attack the week, what you're gonna eat, where you're gonna go. I love that stuff, man. Like that is a lot of fun. So I'm excited about how all this is gonna play out this week, because I've got some challenges ahead of me, and I'm curious to see like how I'm really going to respond to the challenge. It's not gonna be easy this week, that's for sure. There's no bones about that part. This is a lake that's always giving me a little bit of trouble, so I know I'm gonna have my work cut out for me. I know I'm gonna have to work for it. You know what's kind of weird about Rayburn is I always seem to have good tournaments. Like I catch fish when I come here. That's exciting about this place. It's probably one of the best offshore largemouth fisheries in the country. I really do believe that. It used to be like Kentucky Lake used to be a good one, but I really think like this place is probably one of the best offshore bass fishing lakes there is. I think you'll see that this week in this tournament. Let's talk about sponsors for a minute. This is my new tow vehicle for this year. This is an adventure van. It's called Storyteller Overland. Now, I've been using this thing quite a while. You've probably seen me pull my boat with it in my boat video. And I want to do like something where I can really show you guys what this thing's about. But I've been driving for about 6 months before I even decided to do any type of video about it. I really wanted to see if it would hold up to pulling a bass boat around fishing, if I would really like it. And so far, I really do. Like this has been really cool. Really cool thing to use. It makes you want to go places. I mean, it's basically a home on wheels. I'll show you a little bit about it, but I really want to save it to, like this product deserves its own complete review. Let me show you. This is my new home on wheels. All right, let's start up here at the top. It's a Mercedes, of course, so it definitely has, even though it's a big, huge RV, it feels like a car up. It feels like a luxury car up front. I've got a lot of things going outside. Let me show you this. So I actually have an awning that's lit up. You can see that's my awning. It's lit up right now. So if it's supposed to rain this week, right? If it rains, no big deal. I can let out my electric awning. I can pull a little few tackle, rods and reels right out here on the front and do my tackle. I don't have to worry about mixing my food up with everybody else's. I got my own refrigerator. There's a lot of stuff going in here. There's beds, there's cabinets, there's all type of stuff and everything. My favorite part is this feels like a graph. It's all climate control. It's all digitally done. Voltage system right here. This is how I know my battery power and how much time I have left on everything. The cool part is just being able to light up the van all the way around. So, you know how you get into a new spot, you don't really know where you're at and where you're going. I've got lights all the way around that just kind of light up the area. When you get in from fishing and it's dark, literally 360 degrees, I have the entire van lit up. So it's really going to be an asset to my tournament fishing. My kids love this thing. We went dirt bike racing, we went camping in it. It's just something that makes you want to kind of get out and experience the outdoors, which is perfect for what we like to do. Even though this van, it probably looks like really high tech, this is a workhorse. It's made to use, it's made to get dirty, it's made to drive down dirt roads, it's four-wheel drive, actually it's all-wheel drive. It's made to go places and do things and adventure and have experiences. I guess that's why they come up with the name Storyteller. But it is a great product that I've had a lot of fun, and I've experienced so many different things just because having that van. First day I get out here on the water, and we got 25-mile-an-hour winds in the forecast today. It's actually supposed to rain too. So on par, we got our challenges set ahead of us. We get 3 days to practice this week, and our first day is going to be a blowout. Now, why would that be a concern? We're here on Sam Rayburn. This lake is, I think it's 117,000. It's 100,000+ acres at full pool, which my guess is it's about at full pool right now. It's been coming up over the last few days because of all the rainfall they've had here in Texas. And so the lake gets dangerous. It gets really dangerous. Also, I think I just went down the wrong road. I was trying to get to a boat ramp, and I have a feeling that I am not going to the boat ramp right now. But this place gets really dangerous, so you have to be careful. You don't come out here on Sam Rayburn on 20-mile-an-hour wind days without some caution. You have to be very careful and very intentional about what you're doing. So today there's going to be some strategy into our practice day of just where to go and how to navigate, because with the lake gets so rough that it can overtake you. You won't beat the lake here when it's bad. When it's rough, there's no competing against it. You bow to the lake here. So right now I drove about an hour to where I'm fishing now, because I won't be able to move around very much today. So I have to pick my poison, pick where I want to fish, and be very strategic about where I move. Oh, I just caught my first fish. First largemouth anyway of 2024. If I get him unhooked, I'll show him to you. I'm gonna lie, I just pulled this fish 37 feet. I caught him on a gremlin, Carolina Reed gremlin. First fish of 2024. Woohoo! First fish. It's a 2.5 pounder, I would say, wouldn't you say? 2.5, maybe 2 3/4. He could be 4 pounds. You know, it just depends on what kind of scale. It could be a 6 pounder, but I caught that guy right here on a little rounded point. To be honest with you, I fished most of the day and I hadn't caught anything. My goal when I come fishing like this, when I practice for a tournament, we have 3 days to practice, right? And in my mind, if I find one spot every day, doesn't seem like a lot, but you take those 8, 9, 10 hours, however long the day is. I got started at probably 8:30 today because I couldn't find my boat launch. But if I practice to 6 o'clock tonight and I find one spot if I figure out one thing, if I go slow enough to figure out one thing, it's usually easy to duplicate once you find out one thing. And then most likely you'll find at least two things if you go slow enough and you pay attention to all the little minor details. And then in 3 days, that means you'll have 6 spots. That's the way I like to break it down, because you get out here and things are going slow. It feels like time is just clicking away, clicking away, clicking away. And it'll make you pull your hair out. It'll make your hair turn gray. And so my thought process is, look, bro, chill out. 1 spot today. That's all you got to figure out. It helps me calm down. Big water bait. Look at that. That's what you want to be looking for. Little guy. Not much to him. Finally started to catch a few fish. I really struggled most of the day today. I really hadn't even seen many fish. It just really hasn't gone my way. It's definitely warmer. Imagine that. Last time I was here, I caught fish on the same bait, but right now, baits like that are way more popular than they've ever been. I'm not even dressing in front of you. I'm just getting really warm, and I need to, I haven't moved in a while. It's dead calm today. It blew like 20 yesterday, and today it's barely blowing at all. Daylight to dark. Tough 2 days for me, y'all. I know a lot of time we edit these videos, especially like practice videos, you know, you can make them, I mean, just being completely honest with you, you can make them look like whatever you want to. You can make it look like you caught a lot of fish. You can make it look like you struggle so you can hide things for your competitors. Being completely transparent and honest, like, I haven't caught anything at all. And I'm not one to really get quickly frustrated or one to get really quickly discouraged. But I think this time, just because I think this will be my 3rd trip. This is actually my 4th trip here, and I've never seemed to really connect it well here. In the past, I've always had a good time catching fish, but never really been able to catch big fish. This time, I'm not connecting at all. So you're already still starting to feel, you know, you're starting to feel it a little bit. You know, I can't tell you that, and I think this is my 7th year. I can't tell you that I've ever felt, you know, I don't even like to say it, like, I don't see the light. I don't see what I could change to do it. I don't ever really feel that. A lot of times I'll sit down, I'll think about it, and I can at least have an idea. This time, pretty pushed down. A lot of that's coming because I know they're biting. They don't ever not bite here. They bite, and they are biting. I know they are biting. It's not tough out here. It's just there's one little thing somewhere that I'm probably overlooking that that I just haven't seen yet. And sometimes you can slow down a little bit. Sometimes you can think about something a little different and figure out that one little thing, and I haven't figured that out yet. But I do have one more day to think about it. I got one more day of practice, so hopefully I'll see it. It's just like you can turn it this way, turn it that way, and then sometimes you see that one little thing, one little mistake, that one little detail makes a huge difference. It's literally the difference between like zeroing and having like finishing in the top 10 or even just cashing a check is oftentimes just one detail. And so I got to figure that out. All right, takeaways from the day. Biggest takeaway is I better start catching some fish. I better start catching some fish like fast, because, well, I don't know. I'm not even going to go there. We're not even going to start that complaint train already this week. One of the easiest things to do when fishes like this, start complaining. I don't know, I don't ever catch no fish. I don't know, it's always me. I'm not even gonna do that this week. Looks a little bit different where I'm fishing today. No more than that Mickey. We ain't got some stained water. I fished for 2 days doing the same thing and really haven't caught any much, just really haven't had much luck. And I decided to start fishing shallow. The water, pick y'all up. The water's a lot higher than it's been. It's kind of weird. It's at the perfect level. Most of the time when I come here, it's either too low or it's way up in the bushes. Right now, it's like perfect. Where a couple cypress trees have some water on them. Water temperature is warm. It's almost in the 60s. So I feel like, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's gonna be in our type of tournament where you only have to catch 5. I think you could get out of here unscathed fishing shallow. I don't think you could win fishing shallow on Sam Rayburn anymore, just with the electronics we have now. I didn't find that. I mean, we can talk about it all you want. I know that's probably how you need to win, and I didn't find that. And so I have to go, I gotta get bit. I can't not get bit. So I just went back to old reliable. I did not find my 1 place per day. I didn't meet my quota today. Didn't meet it today. So that means tomorrow we gotta take an even smaller chunk and try to catch. We gotta try to find 1 spot. What am I eating tonight? Last night we ate Mexican, it was pretty good. The only thing about coming to South Texas, East Texas, West, whatever Texas I'm in, everything might be bigger in Texas, but I can tell you this, there ain't a whole lot to eat in Texas unless you bring it to cook with. Chances are, if you made it this far in this YouTube video, you're one of my die-hard YouTube viewers. Congratulations. Seriously, I do have something I want to give to you because this is a 30-minute long video, so I've taken up a lot of your time. Oh, I almost dropped you. If you made it this far in the video, I want to give you guys 25% off of my Excitebite hoodie. This one right here. If you're anywhere between the ages of, let's say 30 and 50, you know exactly what this is in reference to. The Excitebite hoodie was the old motorcycle game that we had on Nintendo. This is the fishing version right here. I've got just a few sizes left because we're about to move into the spring apparel line. So I've got just a few sizes left. So if you want one, go to shopblat.com. Type in the code BLAT25. You get 25% off just for watching this video to the end. The next video that you see will be the result of the practice here at Rayburn. For some reason, I just got a sneaky suspicion about it. I didn't catch many fish in practice, but I feel like I got enough clues to at least, if nothing else, have a fun tournament. I can't tell you how big they're gonna be. I didn't catch any big ones in practice this year, but I just have a sneaky suspicion. I've always had trouble with this lake, but I don't hate the lake. So at some point, all of this is gonna break. At some point, something's gonna change, something's gonna give. So I think the tournament vlog is going to be fun to watch. It's going to be, I'm going to fish a couple different ways. I'm going to fish offshore. I'm going to scope like everybody else, but I also got some shallow stuff going. So you get to, if you like scoping, you'll see scoping. If you like hoping, I'll be on the video hoping too. All right.